And we say good evening. Hi, everybody. Carson Meredith with you. It is 7:22 on this Saturday night. I hope you've stayed dry today. It has unfortunately been a washout, just as we expected. And unfortunately, we have to keep the rain chances around for a while. But we always have to be positive in life, even when we have all the trouble around us, right? The good news is we will have more dry time over the next couple of days. Some of you may still have a lot of rain to deal with, but we'll at least have little breaks in that rain from time to time. So that's what we're going to be talking about over the next couple of days, and of course what we'll talk about tonight. And we'll also discuss a nice stretch of weather next week and potentially more tropical trouble about a week from now. Very, very early indications are we may have some issues again here in about 7 or 8 days. So we'll talk about all that tonight. But first, the comment section we go. Jocelyn is in New Albany. Hope you're well. Michael's asking, what about our rain totals across the area? So yesterday, a lot of us saw 2 to 3 inches of rain, which was our forecast. And on top of all that rain yesterday, we picked up close to another inch of rain today. Now, what's been our saving grace with all of this rain? Well, there's a couple of things. One, we've needed the rain, right? Going into this week, we were in a pretty decent drought, the different levels across wave country, depending on where you are, but we were certainly in the midst of a drought. And the ground really absorbed a lot of this rain quite well. That's why we haven't had much in the way of flooding issues so far. So that's one thing that's helped us. And also, the rain hasn't been too terribly heavy. It's been heavy at times, of course, especially yesterday, but obviously nothing like what's happening down south and east of us. Goodness, what a horrible situation down in North Carolina. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Anyway, DJ King says, good evening. Hope you're well. Angela's watching. What a soggy Saturday indeed. Good day to stay inside and watch some football, right? Anita's watching on YouTube. Hope you're well. Michelle says hello. Adam says good evening from misty Bloomington. Adam, you're my Hoosier guy. How did they do today? I know they were playing Maryland, but I didn't see the results. Amanda says good evening from Bardstown. David says hello. All right, so let's jump in, shall we? Let's jump right to radar. How about that? We're getting in some dry pockets, finally, right? Goodness gracious, it seems like it's rained nonstop for days. Well, I mean, it kind of has, if you think about it. Let me change radar graphic here. There's one radar map I could show you that takes out a little bit of that mist, that clutter, and there's another one that keeps it around. And since we got some of that mist and drizzle in the air, I want to make sure I give you the full picture. So this particular band of light rain continues tonight. Stretches basically along and north of I-64. So some steady rain comes down really in all of southern Indiana. Paoli seeing some of that light rain. Crawford County, Harrison, Floyd, Clark counties all seeing some of that steadier rain. Here in the city, we might be getting a little break. I haven't stepped outside since I came back in this afternoon, but I would imagine there's still some mist and some drizzle in the air. Of course, the low pressure from what was Hurricane Helene is right over Kentucky. Got a lot of moisture kind of trapped underneath that low pressure. So you might not see a whole lot on radar where you're at, but there's probably still some of that mist or drizzle in the air. And that will be the case throughout the evening. But nonetheless, the steadiest rain is mainly over our northern half of wave country. If you're down in basically south of the parkways in southern Kentucky, you're drying out a little bit, aside from that mist and drizzle. So Litchfield, E-Town, Bardstown, Mupfordville, Greensburg, Campbellsville, Lebanon, Springfield, Columbia, you guys are dealing with some of that misty kind of stuff, but not that steady rain that we've had for most of the day. And even with just this light rain, guys, it's been persistent. And that's why a lot of us have picked up another close to 1 inch of rain just today, on top of the 2 to 3 inches of rain we saw on Friday, on top of the 1 to 2 inches of rain we saw back on Tuesday of this week. So it has obviously been Just a pretty nasty week, right? But things look better next week, so we can be excited about that. Let's see, comment section, back we go. Beth says, hello from Springfield. Hopefully you're drying things out a little bit down there in Washington County. Mist and drizzle, that's all. Julianne says, hello from J-Town. Weather Geek watching, swimming on the south side. I mean, yeah, that's how much rain we've had, it seems like, right? Adam says Indiana beat Maryland. They're 5-0 for the first time since 1967. How about that? Well done for the Hoosiers up there. Good stuff. Kathy says hello from Trimble County. Charles says hello from Irvington down there in good old Breckenridge County. Let's see. Michelle's also in Breckenridge County. And Webster, she says it's sure misty. Yeah, indeed it is, my friend. Let me circle good old Breckenridge County. There it is. Could even be more of that lighter rain as opposed to mist and drizzle, kind of a on again, off again kind of deal. Let's see. Oh, Angela's got a great idea here. My husband made a pot of chili for dinner. Oh, man. You talk about the perfect fall day, at least in my world. Football on the TV. It's raining outside, so you have an excuse to stay inside and watch football with some chili. Oh, man. Sounds great. Sounds so good. And I have not had dinner yet, so Angela, you're making me hungry. Daniel says, what's up from Daniel? Out by Churchill Downs. Hope you're well. Hope you're well. Sean says, grieving the loss from the Louisville game. Tough times. Yeah. They gave it a good fight. I mean, Notre Dame's a good team. That's a tough place to play up there. I didn't watch the game since it was on streaming on the computer. I don't know if they had any rain or not up there. Their forecast in South Bend was a lot better today than it was down here. So it's a good thing that game was up there when you're talking about the weather. DJ King, every weekend, man, you're always asking me this. Any snow in the forecast? Not yet. Not yet. Not yet. Joanne's heading to Cancun on Thursday. Should she be worried about that tropical system? I would not be worried yet. I would just pay attention to our updates here on Wave, of course, and the updates from the National Hurricane Center. And I'll talk about that system here in a minute. Kerry says he's in Louisville, much rainier than Indiana. Yeah, a lot of that rain has been starting in Kentucky, of course, and drifting north, spinning around that low pressure. In fact, let me take you to that full picture here real quick. So there is that low. This was Helene. This is what's left of it, guys. What a wicked system. What a wicked storm. What a wicked weather pattern, right? Just horrific. You look down here to the right side of your screen. Those are still flash flood emergencies in the mountains of North Carolina. I don't know if you guys have seen the photos down there and the videos. It's horrible. It's just unbelievable. It was right around this time a year ago. I was driving that part of I-40 that washed out in the mountains of western North Carolina. You know, if anybody's ever driven that interstate in that part of the country, you know how dangerous it is on a sunny day. Can you imagine being stuck in that mess? Horrible. City of Asheville, no communication at all. Barely, if any. They're cut off from the rest of the world. The only way you can get in is helicopters. It's unbelievable. Anyway, just say a thought or prayer, whatever you believe, for our friends down to the south and east. They're struggling right now. Anyway, back here at home, the center of what was Helene is, let's say it's over Morgantown, Kentucky, Madisonville, close to Hopkinsville. And it is just spinning and spinning and spinning in place. It just does not want to go away. So, of course, it's wrapping around that moisture south to north. That's why that plume of rain took a little while longer to get into southern Indiana today. And it's going to take some time for this low pressure to get a move on and, quite honestly, just fade away. We've got to wait on this low pressure to just kind of steadily weaken. And that will be occurring over the next couple of days, which is part of the reason why our rain chances continue to drop. Now, we're still going to be under the influence of this thing. for a couple of days. So that's why we have to keep the rain chances around. But the weaker and weaker and weaker it gets, the more scattered those shower chances become. So I do not think tomorrow or Monday is going to be a washout like we had today. In fact, I'm hopeful. I didn't do it for this forecast update, but I'm hopeful sometime tomorrow, as I get more high-res data, that I can slightly reduce those rain chances for Monday in particular. Fingers crossed. We'll hope for the best there. Back to the comments. Don't want to ramble too much. Katie's asking, tropical storm heading towards Florida again. Supposed to head that way next weekend. Good question, Katie. It is. I'm going to show you what we know now towards the end of our video. So stick with me. I'll get there. I promise. It is not anything to panic about. It's not anything to get worried about at this point. It's just something to watch. And we don't really know where exactly it might be heading at this point. The forecast models are kind of all over the place with if a tropical system develops, and if it does, where it goes and when. We just kind of have the general idea that something could be there in about a week. So hope that makes sense. Ben says, drought busting rain has been nice. Now ready for some fall temps. Yeah, this has definitely been a drought buster. Will it 100% wipe out the drought? I'm hopeful it will. There might still be a couple of dry spots, quote unquote. But yeah, this has been incredibly helpful with putting an end to the drought. When in doubt, give us a tropical system in here that dumps a ton of rain. Mary says, hello from Plainfield, west of Indianapolis. Oh, yeah, Indy suburb. Hope you're well. Aubrey says, any more storms tonight in Eastview? No storms. No storms at all. There will be some showers overnight tonight across all of Wave Country, including Eastview, but there is no storm threat, no severe weather threat at all. Graham is going camping next week, October 4th through 13th. What should I expect? Hold that thought. We'll focus on next weekend in particular, first off. Adam said it rained all day at the IU game. I don't doubt it. I do not doubt that one bit. So this low pressure just going to keep on spinning, and that's the view you're going to see overnight tonight. That is the live view of Spaghetti Junction, which has been a complete mess today. There was one accident this morning on I-65 South as you're coming out of Indiana off the Kennedy. And then I don't know if it was the same accident or if it was a second one, but there was another issue around 5 o'clock this evening where a semi caught on fire right on 65 on top of the Spaghetti Junction. So if you look closely, far left side of the screen, you can still see I-65 is shut down coming into Kentucky out of Indiana. So if you know anybody that might be coming southbound on 65 out of southern Indiana, they're shipping you off to 64, I think, into downtown Louisville. So keep that in mind. We've been told it's going to be another few hours before 65 reopens. We were hoping to have a live shot for you during our newscast at 6 o'clock tonight, but our 6 o'clock newscast was canceled because of golf. Golf ran long tonight. But anyway, that's the issue in the junction. And I can't help but wonder if weather was an issue. I mean, look at this, guys. It's just nasty out there. That light, steady rain, keeping the roads damp, that misty kind of stuff. You really can't see that well. So if you got to be out tonight, just be careful. Give yourself space. Turn your headlights on. Just have some common sense, right? Although common sense isn't that common nowadays. 66 is our current temperature here in the city. And with all this cloud cover today and the light rain, our temperatures didn't change a whole lot. This morning on sunrise, it was 64 degrees here in Louisville. So we've only warmed up 2-3 degrees. I mean, it's just been a very yucky kind of day. And those clouds are going to hold tough tonight. And with those showers around, we're not going to see much of a cool down. That's the thing with cloud cover. During the day, obviously, it keeps you cooler because you don't have the sun. But at night, that thick cloud cover acts as a blanket to keep us warmer. So we don't have that clear sky that allows for radiational cooling, right? So that's why we're not going to see a whole lot of a temperature change overnight tonight either. 60% chance for showers lingering. There will be more dry time, but there will also be some mist and drizzle, so still yucky. If you're going to be out late tonight or early tomorrow morning, take the umbrellas with you if you're heading to church or if you got any other Sunday plans. Here's those rain chances hour by hour tomorrow. I'm going to keep it 60% across the board until about 6 o'clock tomorrow evening. By that point, I'm hopeful, I'm optimistic that we will start to see those showers dissipate just a little bit as this low pressure, what was Helene, continues to weaken. It's not going to have enough forcing, if you will, to set off these showers. We lose that heat of the day. So I expect that shower coverage to drop a little bit Sunday evening. Is it going to totally go away? No. There might be a couple of showers around tomorrow night, but there won't be quite as many as what we've had the last couple days. All right. Here's Futurecast tomorrow, Sunday, not tonight. 8 a.m., hit and miss rain across the entire region. You might have some dry time. You might have mist and drizzle. You might have some lighter rain showers. Prepare for wet weather if you're going to be out all day tomorrow, but especially to start things off. And you notice as we warm things up a little bit, we'll be a few degrees warmer Sunday afternoon, upper 60s, low 70s. Some of those scattered showers start to flare back up again. Random places, kind of just pinwheeling around wave country like this, just going like this. You could tell I'm not a very good artist. That's why I did something in science. But it's not going to be an all-day washout, okay? In fact, I don't want to get everybody's hopes up here, but if you look real closely on Futurecast, there's a couple little peaks of sunshine that try to get through. So some of you may get really lucky and see if those little sunshine peaks, but more than anything else, it's going to stay cloudy. And we'll have those hit and miss showers around, especially through 5 or 6 in the evening. And then as the sun goes down, that shower coverage tapers off just a little bit. So long story short, Sunday is not a washout like it was today, okay? But you still need to have that umbrella or that poncho handy, especially if you're heading to Bourbon, or not Bourbon and Beyond, Louder Than Life. If you're heading to Louder Than Life tomorrow, you certainly need the rain gear. Just in case these showers, just in case those showers keep popping up where you are. All right, I'll talk about Helene here in a second. Let me go back to the comments. Let's see. Lana says the grass is getting tall. Yeah, we go from our front yards and backyards being dirt and dust to needing to mow again, right? Crazy situation there. Let's see. Here's a good question from Weather Geek. At what point do the experts consider Helene gone and this is just a low pressure system? That's a really good question, Weather Geek. I've never really thought of it that way. I mean, it already is a low pressure system, right? It's not necessarily anything tropical. It's post-tropical. So in other words, the hurricane tropical storm characteristics that it had a few nights ago, they're not there anymore, right? Otherwise, we'd have a huge problem on our hands. So it is basically just a low pressure now, right? But because it was once a tropical storm or a hurricane, we still consider it Helene. Hopefully that makes sense. They get really deep in the weeds on some of that kind of stuff. I'm not a huge fan of it because I like to keep things very, very simple for you guys. But yeah, technically that low pressure is just a good old-fashioned low pressure now. But because it used to be a tropical storm and a hurricane, we still call that low pressure Helene. Hope that makes sense for you, Weather Geek. Kathy says her son's wedding is next weekend. Well, congrats to your son. The weather looks decent for next weekend, but I'm still watching the end of next weekend, and we'll get into that in a second. Carrie says the rain today was perfect since it was slow and steady. Yeah, just good soaking rain that we all still need to get us further out of the drought. Didn't cause flooding, nothing severe. Just a good early fall day to stay inside, right? Let's see. Kay says, I guess it's safe to grill out now. No more burn ban in Henry County. Yeah, a lot of these burn bans are going to be gone, as you might expect, given all the rain that we have seen. Here's a good question from Adam. When can I mow? Let's answer that question right now. So Helene is still going to be meandering nearby tomorrow, of course, and even into Monday, but it's going to keep weakening. So our shower chances Monday are a little lower. Our shower chances on Tuesday are even lower than Monday. Just kind of stepping down, 60%, 40%, 20%, day by day by day. So as the low from Helene finally gets out of here and we say goodbye, don't come back, there will be a weak cold front, if I can draw it here, there we go, moving in from the north and west, like so. And you look at Futurecast and you're like, now wait a minute, there's no rain with that cold front. Correct? Very moisture starved. It's not going to have a lot of rain with it. There could be a couple showers with that front on Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday evening. More than anything else, you see right here, I think it's just going to be a slight increase in cloud cover. I'll keep a small shower chance to be safe, but this could very well be a dry cold front. Time will tell. But once that front gets through, my friends, nice pleasant air moves in to kick off October. Next Wednesday, October 2nd, highs in the upper 60s to low 70s. Not bad at all. Very comfortable, very seasonable for early October. You think October, you're like, now, wait a minute, shouldn't we be in the 60s? Well, we'll get there. But our average high for late September is 77. And that average high for the first couple of days of October is in that 75, 76 ballpark. So we're very close to that on Wednesday once that cold front moves through. So I think Tuesday will be mostly dry. We'll watch for a few showers along that cold front, but especially Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, it's going to feel very, very comfortable, and we will finally see some bright, sunny days that I think we all really need after the last few days, right? So that's the setup for midweek. Let's talk about next weekend. I'll start off with a big picture of the tropics because it just won't stop. It's the end of September. We're still pretty close to that peak of the season. We still got 2 months to go. We're on the downhill, which is good, but it's still very busy. There's Helene. We know where Helene is. It's right on top of us, right? But we've also got Hurricane Isaac way out here. It's I zoomed it out so far, I can't read it. It's a Category 2 hurricane. Last time I checked, I think it still is. It's a fish storm, which means it's just going to hang out in the ocean with all the fish. No impacts for the United States, no impacts for really any land at all. Down here, towards the bottom of the screen, is Tropical Storm Joyce. Joyce 2 will be a fish storm. Not going to cause any land issues at all. Should be gone in a few days. No big deal. You've got another area that the Hurricane Center is watching here in red that is not a named system yet. It's likely going to become a named system soon. That system, should it develop, will also not be an issue. So we've got 3 fish storms out in the Atlantic staying far away from land, zero concerns whatsoever. This is what we're going to have to watch. National Hurricane Center has been watching this area in particular, excuse me, for a low pressure to develop in the days to come. And unfortunately, there are some models suggesting that this could once again become a more organized tropical system. That's really all we can say at this point. There's such a wide difference of opinions, if you will, amongst all the models as to how this system is going to play out. Somebody was asking about their trip to Cancun next week. Again, do not cancel those plans yet. Don't worry, don't stress, don't panic. Just keep an eye on the forecast. We'll give you updates here on WAVE. National Hurricane Center, of course, will keep a very close eye on this as well. Right now, they have this system at a 50-50 shot of becoming a named system. Now, obviously, we can't give you full specifics yet, but you're probably asking, okay, well, do you have a gut feeling as to where this might go? I don't have a gut feeling yet, no. But what I can tell you, the general idea that I'm seeing is that this system might meander towards the north and west and could potentially cause trouble along the Gulf Coast by next Sunday. That's really all I can say at this point. I can't tell you if it's going to be a tropical storm or a hurricane. You probably, if you look at social media, you probably see all these weather people saying, oh my God, here we go again. It's going to be another major hurricane. We don't know that yet, guys. We don't. It's almost impossible to figure out the strength of a system this far out. You can only get a general idea of where it may go. Okay? We will get more specifics in the days to come. Also, we'll have to keep in mind that as we get towards next weekend, there will be another cold front moving across the U.S. in all likelihood. How does that cold front interact with this potential tropical cyclone? That's another wild card that we'll have to throw in the mix. So when you look at the 10-day earliest alert, for the time being, let me focus on the end of the 10-day here, okay? Right side of your screen. If we're going to see any tropical issues at all, it would potentially be next Sunday or next Monday, October 6th and 7th, okay? I'm not totally convinced we see tropical issues, guys. We may have more of that cold front to deal with as opposed to a tropical system during that time. Until we get more specifics, we're going to keep rain chances low, 20, 30%. All right? Nothing to panic about, nothing to stress about yet. Just something to pay attention to, okay? Just keep in the back of your mind here in about a week or so. The rest of the 10-day, we mentioned the shower still lingering tonight into tomorrow. Not a washout, but still pretty damp. Showers continue into Monday. Not as many. More dry time on Monday than Sunday. Then by Tuesday, we actually warm things up. Highs near 80 on Tuesday. And that's before that cold front moves in Tuesday afternoon and Tuesday night. Knocks us back down into the low to mid 70s on Wednesday. Heat things back up to near 80 by Friday. Then we kind of level things off in the 70s next weekend. And then, of course, we'll see what happens with that next cold front next weekend, potentially, and that tropical system. So it's still a fairly active weather pattern. There's no question about that. But we'll get a little break in there Tuesday through Saturday, I'd say. So a nice extended breather is ahead. Once we get past these pesky showers tonight, tomorrow, and into Monday, okay? Any last-minute comments, questions, thoughts, concerns before we wrap things up tonight? Appreciate you guys watching as always. We've got college football on Wave. Who do we got? Illinois and Penn State. So once that game is done, we will be back on the TV side of things on Wave News at 11. Hope you'll tune in for that. And, of course, I'll be back here in the Wave Weather Now studios tomorrow evening as well. All right, before we go, let's see. Comments. Next week is fall break. Hoping for some nice days. Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely am. Going to have some really nice days. Like I said, Tuesday through, in all likelihood, Saturday. Tuesday through Saturday looks pretty good. Pleasant, seasonable, lots of sunshine. Good to go. I can't believe they get a full week off for fall break now. It was only like 4 days when I was in JCPS. Oh, well, that's all right. Kevin says, feels like deja vu, I guess talking about the tropics. Yeah, it could be. Unfortunately, it could be. God willing, it won't be as bad inland like we saw with Helene, but we'll certainly keep an eye on it. Stan says, I don't need more rain. Yeah. Isn't it crazy, guys? We go from, gosh, we need all the rain we can get to, okay, stop. Turn off the faucet. It always seems to play out that way. Joanne says, thanks for the Cancun update. No problem. We'll keep an eye on it. Let's see. Josh has a good question. Talking about the tropics. Did Helene change the water surface temperatures in the Gulf? Yes, 100%. Would that affect the development of this next system? It could. But I mean, you guys know the sea surface temperatures are still near record territory. It's like a bath in the Gulf of Mexico. So we'll have to see how quickly those surface temps can recover. And of course, we got to figure out where this system's going to go. So a lot of things to still sort out. But yes, Josh, definitely did change the sea surface temperatures, no doubt. Adam asked, next weekend's cold front, does that bring in the potential frost? I'm not ready to say that yet. Still looks like 40s and 50s once that front gets out of here. But I mean, we'll likely have a frost in October. I mean, we always seem to, but I don't really see anything that suggests we're really going to warm things up. I feel fairly confident we'll have a frost potential sooner rather than later in October. But for next weekend in particular, I don't see it just yet. Let's see. Jason says, thanks. Adam says, thanks. Beth says, thanks. Appreciate you keeping us updated. That's my job, guys. Glad to do it. Kay says, thanks. Let's see. Stan says, thanks. Of course. Jason sums it up best on Twitter, X, whatever Elon wants to call it today. At least it came down as a light rain, so the flooding in our area wasn't as bad as it could have been. Praying for those devastated by the flooding, rain, and wind. Yeah, that's all you can do. Obviously, if you feel so inclined, if you're able, I know the Red Cross always asks for donations during natural disasters like this, so something you might want to consider. Of course, we don't endorse that. We don't endorse any particular groups, but definitely send good thoughts and prayers to our friends down in East Tennessee and North Carolina. It's going to take a long time, I'm afraid, for them to recover from this. They saw 20 to 30 inches of rain in 2 days. Just incredible. We got very lucky here in Wave Country, that's for sure. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up for tonight. Again, appreciate you all watching as always. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. I will see you on the TV side of things tonight after college football and Wave News at 11. And I'll be back here in the Wave Weather Now studios around 6:45 or 7 o'clock tomorrow evening. Hopefully I can be in here a little bit earlier tomorrow night. All right, stay dry. Keep the umbrella ponchos handy. And we will talk to you guys soon. Good night, everybody.